Hi, everybody. This is Kathy L. Murphy, the Pulpwood Queen, and I am here live in Gladewater, Texas. They're having their holiday open house that they have every year at Stephanie Chance's Decorate Ornate. And you might look behind me, but this is all my new art as we're having a show tonight for my art collection. And I had forgotten that this was at the same time when I booked our fabulous guest that's going to be here tonight. And he's here all the way from Hawaii. Now, we do have a little bit of a Zoom glitch because for some reason, he can hear us and we can hear him talk, but we can't see him on the screen. So my apologies that you're going to have to look at this leopardlicious nutball here and not be able to look at the wonderful Jim Markam, who has quite a story. But before we begin with him, I would like to introduce you to Jim Markam. Jim is the protege and the successor of Jay Sebring, which was this amazing beauty professional that had this whole line of haircutting salons and products. And when Jim Markam went to work for him, he did clients such as, are you ready for this? I mean, this is amazing. Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, Robert Redford, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Carson, Paul Anka, and many, many more. He got me on Paul Newman. I have a cat named after Paul Newman because of his blue eyes. So you have me there. I'm actually so excited that Jim is here all the way from Hawaii. And again, I apologize that you can't see him on the screen because he has a lot to share with us tonight. But I want to continue by telling you, he's a serial entrepreneur. He has had 5 companies, in beauty companies, including PureOlogy, which is one that I used to carry in my Beauty in the Book salon. Love the smell and scent and the quality. Excellent products. But what is amazing is he sold PureOlogy to the cosmetic and beauty company L'Oreal. And okay, I've got to look at this because surely this can't be right, Jim. But is this really what I'm reading? That you sold it for $283 million.
Well, thank you so much, Kathy. It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys. And your pictures look great in the back. But yes, I was fortunate from start to finish. It took 6 years from start to finish, and L'Oreal came and made me an offer I couldn't refuse, $280 million cash to walk away. So, you know, we did, but I mean, it was a beautiful brand. It did great. It's still doing great. Yeah, I had the honor of doing that. That's true. Quite a trip.
It's absolutely amazing to me because, you know, L'Oreal bought out Redken, and I was a Redken salon for years and years. So I know very well how much they bought out all those companies. So you're here tonight, and we're going to be talking about a lot of really fantastic things because, you know, when I pick an author's book, I don't really know much about the background of the person that writes the book. I choose the book solely on the story. But when I talked to Echo Garrett, who helped you with this book and put this together, she was telling me your background. I said, oh my gosh, we've got to have him at Girlfriend Weekend because I had the only hair salon bookstore in the country. So I am now going to interview you for what we talked about. Let me get back to my questions here that we have prepared because they're pretty amazing. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to have to put on my glasses. Hi, Jenna, hang on just a second. But the reason why we're here tonight is because not only did you take over Jay Sebring's company, there's a lot of things that happened why that was in place. First of all, Jay Sebring was one of the people that were killed in the Manson murder. And
yes,
I remember exactly when that happened, and I remember it was Sharon Tate. It was just a devastating story, but it was a story that got picked up in this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes. And so you were brought onto that set as a consultant for the film. How amazing is that? So my first question for you tonight is, did you have any interaction with any of the stars, especially Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio? I mean, all of my Pulpwood Queens are dying to know.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work with them. I had planned on doing the hair for the movie since I'd cut Paul Newman and Steve McQueen all up. And there was a look in the 60s and 70s with the longer sideburns and a fuller neckline and haircut looked like you didn't have one and one looked like you hadn't had one with the perfect haircut for a minute. So I didn't actually do the hair, but they had already got a stylist who cut their hair that had chosen a length, and it was accepted by the Tarantino. So I didn't work on the hair, but I knew what it was going to be, and I give my renditions of what I thought it was going to be. But they started filming after I started, so I was a consultant mostly on the look of the salon, the look of the feel of the salon, and that's what they brought me in for. She brought me in. What was her name? Can't think of her name right now. The set designer, Nancy Hay, sorry. And she won an award for something about her profession. But yes, it was quite a trip.
Well, I've seen the movie. I've seen it a couple of times, and I was just in awe. I thought they really nailed it. I thought the especially Brad Pitt. I just thought he had really they just did it so well, and it was a surprising movie. And I know you were able to observe Emil Hirsch, who played Jay Sebring, and Margot Robbie, who played Sharon Tate, and that's fascinating. And what a wonderful experience that had to have been. Did you have, really, you talked about you didn't do their cuts, but did you have any influence at all on the hairstyles that they wore? Because that was the time period of where you were working
on. I did the hair back in the 60s and 70s. Yes, I did. I had a little bit because I sent all my celebrity pictures over there, and they observed those. But I didn't actually do a lot because I just sent my pictures, and I was going to cut their hair, but they had found a stylist to do it, and that worked fine. And it wasn't exactly, but it was close enough.
Oh yeah. And the thing I noticed too is about the people hair that you did. Somebody like Johnny Carson, no problem. But Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, let me tell you, they had some interesting hair. You had to be really good to make their hair look really good, because it seemed like to me, I watched an interview with Paul Newman and Johnny Carson, and I was really checking out his hair. Was his hair like really curly?
Hair like what?
Curly? Was it really
wavy? No, it was it was a little bit. We for a lot of his movies, his hair was a little curly, kind of natural texture, real good hair to work with. Of course, the face and shape of his head was great. But yeah, no, he was a fun guy. McQueen was a fun guy. Carson was pretty quiet, but very particular. He was extremely particular, mostly red during the cuts, and he'd always give me $100 a cut. This is like a long time ago, 50 years ago. But it was really a trip. I was very fortunate that I had participated in competitions around the United States, and I'd won a national championship and a silver medal in the hair Olympics before I got to California. So I was pretty talented, and what I learned from Jay Sebring was how to shape the hair. So when I got to shaping and got the opportunity, it kind of came into play really nicely, and it was fun as part of life. The first in the 70s was like the most fun of my life.
That is just, those are kind of like dreams come true. Were you able to contribute to the film as a consultant? Actually, what did they have you do? I mean, I don't really know how that works. I mean, what does a consultant do on a film?
Well, there's different levels. I had received film credits for doing uh, 4 different movies, and you just get filmed. So, men's hair consultant Jim Markam. With this, it would have been a set designer, or let's see, what would it have been called? Men, technical consultant. I think it was my title on the set. And my particular job for this was to provide them with pictures of the celebrities, pictures of the Sebring salon. They were really interested in what the shears looked like that we cut hair back then. Like
Oh
we got
yeah.
an 80-inch Filipino Bordeo shears that no one else used. Now they use like a 4.5, 5-inch shear. So I provided them with shears, and actually we had to locate some in the U.S. We found some
Oh
in
my goodness.
Minnesota, but also the brushes. There were some brushes we used from 50 years ago. They don't have them anymore, so I had to run those down for her. So finding the stuff that put it together accurately was mostly what I did, and they took pictures of
I
everything I
know
had.
just trying to find a rat tail comb anymore is almost virtually impossible. And I
Yeah.
love rat tail combs. I mean, I'm a big back comber, so I love rat tails. You can't find them. But I even have a Redken curling iron that I got in beauty school. It still works. And that was 1977. Okay, when I bought that. So the ones I've had since then, they never last 2 or 3 years, but that Redken one still works. So,
Yeah.
and you use actual you had original Sebring products that you had on record or kept somewhere?
I had, I still have them actually, the Sebring product from 1969. I think we came out with that package was in 68, but it was a black bottle with the red and white on it, said Sebring for shampoo and conditioner and so forth. Yeah, so they wanted that. So they also, it came in an 8-ounce bottle, but they wanted to reproduce it in a 12-ounce size. So I helped them with the bottle manufacturer to get a 12-ounce size, and actually with our packaging experts to reduplicate what we had. We did that for them as well. So it was really, really a fun trip, and I was really excited that they really wanted it to be accurate and make it like it was in those days. So when they actually cut it out, I was really disappointed, but I believe it will come back because I hear they're Tarantino going to release some more scenes or more cuts. So I think that would be what it would be.
They do that a
Because I know
lot.
they spend a lot of money on it.
Oh yeah. And I'm disappointed too, because being a hairdresser, those would be the things that I would want to see, those scenes that they cut from the salon. So, but I know often in director's cuts of movies, they'll put, those scenes that did get cut. So we'll maybe eventually get to see those. That would be
Yeah, they reproduced the front of the Sebring shop. They actually shot it at the original Sebring shop. They rented the shop from somebody else, and they refinished the whole front with like wood. It looked exactly like it did in '69. When I had bought the company actually. So it was really fun to see that. I didn't see it go back. It was kind of disappointing, but yeah, those are fun times.
That's great. Did you get to watch any of the filming?
I only watched the part where they shot with Margot Robbie and Emil Hirsch in front of the Sebring shop. And they had Jay's old black Porsche, the 1968 911 Sportomatic, which ended up, I bought it later. So that was my car. So I'm seeing my company, my car. So, the switch between seeing Jay do it and seeing me do it was really kind of fascinating to me. And to see all that in the back was really fun because it's been 50 years.
That's so cool. The cars of those eras were just, I remember those cars today they're just a commodity, but the cars back then, they were just really cool. I love that. What was your experience of working? Go ahead.
McQueen.
I love Steve McQueen.
I was going to say Steve McQueen had a same car. Same
Really?
car. Because Jay was friends with him before I was friends with him, and they both had this 911 Sportomatic.
Was Steve McQueen kind of he always seemed like a guy's guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a brown belt, and he was pretty tough guy. I mean, he loved to scrap.
Oh my gosh. Well, what what was the experience of working behind the scenes of the film? I mean, how many other films have you worked on?
7 other films.
Oh my goodness.
I got film credits on 4 of them, 3 uncredited, but I did them, which is, you know, I really, it was really fun for a while. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's some similarities that, you know, one similarity is you hurry up and wait.
Yeah. I've been an extra in a few.
Then you wait, and it's okay, now
so
start.
boring.
And you cut a little bit. You might not even cut the whole haircut. It's okay, we got to do something else. So you're just waiting.
Yes,
But it's fun. It's exciting.
I was in a film that went straight to video where I played a woman who was going to a gala fundraiser in evening gown, and we walked in and out of the Longview Public Library like 50 times all night long. And they, you know, and then we go watch, you know, Dolly Parton in Steel Magnolias and eat potato chips. It was, we were up all night long doing it. I don't want to do that ever again. But I think you had the better experience of it. So what was the favorite film that you ever worked on?
It's got to be The Towering Inferno.
Oh my gosh.
It was done in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it was Steve McQueen, Paul Newman. That's when I first started cutting William Holden's hair. So I cut all the principal's hair on location. And it was pretty exciting to see what they did with the fires, and that whole movie was a pretty exciting scene. Oftentimes you go on set and you really don't have much function other than cut the hair, and you're kind of stuck in a room and you're just waiting, but you know, it's able to see a lot there. So that's got to be my most fun.
What was William Holden like?
He was a quiet guy. He surprised me really, because you see movies of him and you know, he plays these great roles, and he's, you know, great guy, but pretty quiet. You know, I was really, back then I was really, you know, with the daily shampooing, wash and wear, and I cut William's hair, and he'd get up and put Vitalis on his hair. No, it's real cream. Real cream on his hair. And I thought, oh no. I said, you don't need that. He said, no, it looks too dry. So, you know, it's fun to do, see these guys at work.
Well, you're going to laugh at this, but I saw in your commentary that you worked on a Lee Marvin story, and the cosmetic manager who I used to work for in May Company, Elizabeth Arden in San Diego, California, used to date Lee Marvin. Weird connections, but I'm just going, oh, she had quite the story. So that was filmed in Arizona with Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin was a great guy. You know, I was on, there was a movie, I think it was it Buffalo Bill or, what's that? What? Oh, I'm sorry, Pocket Money.
Pocket Money.
And it was in Tucson. And you go there, and that was one of the most fun locations because Lee Marvin was drinking quite a lot. And he was so much fun, you know, to be around because he wanted to hang out with everybody, and he'd hang out with me a lot. But finally, it was interesting that Newman, actually I was cutting Newman's hair, and he said, we got to talk to Marvin about staying sober. We can't finish the movie. So I heard through the grapevine that they talked to Marvin and said, hey, you gotta stay sober at least for the next 2 weeks so we can finish this movie. And he did. They finished the movie. But I liked Lee. I cut his hair, his wife's hair, and he was a fun guy. I did drink it.
Wow. Wow. Well, he was a great actor. I loved everything I ever saw him in, and he was just great. But I have heard a few stories. So, but you know, they're stories. And you're a good guy. You always are, you know, put everybody in the best light. But so you wrote this story of Big Lucky. You know, this is quite a amazing story of, because you come from New Mexico, and yes, you wrote this. You had a pretty remarkable life. I mean, the things that you have been able to do in your life is not what most people that grew up in New Mexico do. But then again, I'm thinking, here I am talking to you, and I'm from a little town in Eureka, Kansas. So, you know, and you've got you're living in Hawaii and you're doing all this stuff. What's on the agenda for Jim Markam? I mean, how are you going to top all this, Jim? I mean, I know you've got plans because you talked about it at Girlfriend Weekend, but what's on the agenda? What's coming up?
You know, it's not where, as you know, Kathy, it's not where you're from, it's where you're going. Your past doesn't have anything to do with your future.
Oh, yeah, I like
Hello?
that.
Did I lose you for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just saying, it was really not where you're from, it's where you're going that matters. Where you're from is really immaterial. Your education, your background, your upbringing, your religion, your nationality really has nothing to do with your success. It's all about you winning, and you were made to win. God made you to win, and you just got to take it and go with it. And story I told was a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and really big downs too. You know, we're losing my money and etc. In detail, I go into it, but really the recovery, because we all go things in our life. We all have to recover. We all need to know that we have the ability to do that and don't lose faith, because we are really made to win.
That's really so true. And we're all learning that lesson with this COVID pandemic right now. I mean, you can't see this, but I have got, you know, I've had this mask on all day. You know, we're being very careful social distancing. It's up. I mean, everything's up. So what's it like there in Hawaii?
That's good. That's good. Yeah. We just, you know, they're pretty careful over here. You know, we wear the mask everywhere, and everybody seems to be pretty good. We're in a community called Hualalai, and we're on the Big Island. But we're working a lot. We're redoing our cover. We made the cover look better. We want to put the cosmetic packaging update, a little bit better looking, and do some things inside and out the back. And we're focusing on the book, and we're doing some podcasts and events around the country. And we're kind of interested to go with the book and see where it takes us. Because it's so much fun to hear people say it helped their lives and improved their ability to manage a situation. And, you know, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that they could use a little help sometimes. And that's really why I did this. Because I certainly didn't start with a golden spoon in my mouth. You know, I got up and I fell down many times, but I ended up in a really good spot. And Cheryl and I are really happy here. It's wonderful. It's a little too quiet sometimes, but it's good.
Well, I think you're kind of fearless. Have you always been that way?
Fearless?
Fearless.
You're pretty much.
The safest person I know.
Well, you know, I think so. I've always intuitively known that I could do this. I could win. I could beat the odds. I could outmaneuver. You know, I always knew that as a child, and I really followed that through. And I just kind of went for it. And but everybody has the same opportunity. I mean, really, it's not exactly the same whether you're a cook or you're building a brand or whatever you're building. You know, we all, as a book, you know, we all have similar circumstances. And I put those down in the book. And I think they're revealing, and I've had a lot of people comment that they're really good for them to know.
This is just great. Well, I'm excited for you. The vaccine, I just heard today, CVS Pharmacy is right here, and they're getting them, and they're going to be having them just like the flu shots coming up. So I'm going to be the first one up there to get my shot, because I can't wait to go. I'm tired of staying.
Isn't that the truth? By the way, that art you got on the wall is outrageously good. It's very pretty.
Oh, thank you so much.
I think if I were there, I'd buy some of it for sure.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, it's all going to be up on my website, on Decorate Ornate website. And you may have met Stephanie Chance at Girlfriend Weekend. She's an author, and she and I started our businesses at the exact same time. And she has housed my art in here for years. And I come over here and do these things. And she's the best friend I could ever have. And that's what it's about, Jim. It's about relationships. And I've made the best relationships in the world through the Pulpwood Queens and through reading books like yours. So,
well, you know, you're one of a kind too. You're very personable. You're fearless too, I can tell. And you jump right in, and you're not expecting anything to go wrong. And you're generally right?
Well, I used to be pretty.
Not much goes wrong with you. I mean, it goes wrong, but you recover. And I think that's part of my story is keep recovering, come back.
You just have to, it's like Scarlet, I'll think about it tomorrow. I've had a lot of those Scarlet moments where I go, better go to bed, it better be better tomorrow. But, we don't learn anything unless we have failures. And I've had some doozies. I mean, some doozies. But you know what? It's like you said, the mark of your character is how you do after you have those failures, And I'm a very positive.
That's it. You've done very well, and it really shows. You're one of a kind as well.
Well, I can't thank you enough. I mean, when they sent the introduction, I was going, I'm usually not very nervous about these things, but I'm a wreck. I mean, you're big time, man. And I'm just, thank you so much for Gladewater, Texas. Got to have Jim Markam come live from Hawaii.
Well, it's really a pleasure. Thank you for being on. It's my honor and pleasure to be here and talk to you. I love your pictures. And tell everybody hello for me.
I will. And once you're a Pulpwood Queen author, you're always a Pulpwood Queen author. I'm going to be promoting you forever. So you keep tagging me and I'll keep sharing you. And if you want to jump on board our virtual weekend, come on. We're going to do this thing. We don't really know how we're doing it, but we're going to do it. But I've got 50 authors. So you're going to have to get you some cute jammies.
We will come. We'll get on. We'll get on for sure. Sounds great.
I'll talk to you guys about that later. But what time of day is it there in Hawaii?
It's 3 o'clock here.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Daylight outside. I was trying to put my iPad outside because it's pretty light out and it's just getting dark.
Gee.
It's 3 o'clock here. 3 p.m.
I remember when I flew to Hawaii that this was back in the day when they give you all
8 o'clock?
Little bottles of liquor and everything. And I think I got drunk and sober 3 times before I got there. So I know how far away it is. It's a long way. And I cannot thank you enough for joining us. For everybody that's listening to Jim Markam, who wrote.
It's a long journey.
Yeah. This is a wonderful book that everybody should read because it's very inspiring and it just shows you what happens when weird circumstances take you places that you never even dreamed. You've done a great job, Jim, and I'm really proud of your book, and I'm really thankful that you did this, and I wish you all the best. I'm hoping you'll come out with something new because I have not, my hair is getting so long, I haven't colored it, cut it, or done anything since I did the Girlfriend Weekend because the salon I actually worked in closed because nobody's
going. Really?
No, nobody's going. And it's been a tough, hi, come on, we're doing a live interview here. And so thank you for joining us. We'll talk about our up and coming slumber party, Girlfriend Weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful time in the great state of Hawaii. I mean, on the Big Island. Can't get any better than that, folks. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Any last words you want to share with us?
Thank you very much, Kathy. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I love it.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you, Kathy. Good luck this weekend. Have fun.
I will. I plan on it every day because life is short. And so we've got to seize the moment. So thank you for seizing the moment at the Gladewater Open House in Texas. And thank you so much because we all come from little small places everywhere. And it's so inspiring to see somebody who's done so well in life. So good luck to you all. Happy holidays. We'll talk soon. And for everybody listening.
Happy holidays.
We recorded this and it's going to be posted on the Kathy L. Murphy YouTube channel that I'll be sharing on social media. So tell your friends, subscribe, like, and it's all about the story. Thank you so much for joining us and goodbye from Texas to you in Hawaii, okay?
Hey, Goodbye. Goodbye, Kathy. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.